For the movie section this week, we finally have a little bit more information on actually a couple of movies. The Toxic Avenger starring Peter Dinklage, though there's a little bit of very interesting weirdness going on with that. And then Mortal Kombat 2, plus the Mortal Kombat 2 movie has confirmed that they're going to be releasing skins from the movie into the current Mortal Kombat 1 game. There's a lot of stuff going on here. And then possibly my favorite update for movies this week is Neill Blomkamp is going to be rebooting Starship Troopers. That's right, you heard me correctly. There's a bit more to talk about here, so let's do it. Welcome, nerds, to the Clips channel. You are about to watch the movie news for the week, at least since the last time you were here, probably. So, movie news, this is a smaller portion of a larger video. If you want to get all of the nerdy news, all of the pop culture stuff that's going on, go check out the main channel, Generally Nerdy. The name of the show you're looking for is called The Week in Nerddom, and that's where you can get everything. Or you can just stay here and specifically watch movie news. We're going to talk about upcoming movies. We're going to talk about things that are happening in the box office right now, see how they're doing, that kind of stuff, and yeah, kind of everything pertaining to movies. So let's jump into that. Follow-ups and corrections for movies. We have follow-up on The Toxic Avenger. We know that it's finally making its way into theaters August 29th. We now have some actual images of, well, some of these look like they might be Peter Dinklage, but by and large, that ain't Peter Dinklage in that makeup. Just really cool to see their take on it. The reason why, usually we don't talk about when they just release things like this, like just pictures of the thing. Like, that's not really news. I think the interesting thing about this, why I wanted to put it in the news show, is because A, that's obviously not Peter Dinklage. Like, who the hell are they trying to fool? But B, like, the redesign of Toxie is taking into consideration, like, all of the iterations before this one and kind of adding little bits and pieces to the design of the character to honor all of the other iterations of it. So, and all of the other iterations, I think there's what, like 4 or 5 Toxic Avenger movies that Troma put out, and then you have the Toxie and Friends, or whatever the hell the animated series was called, and the evolution comes from the 5 different Toxie movies and then the animated version of Toxie. So, like, you get coloration like it's from the animated movie, or show rather, and then you get like just little bits and pieces, and then still it feels like a unique thing unto itself. Still, I'm just really super excited about the fact that this is actually going to make its way into theaters and we're going to be able to see it, and that it looks like it gets the joke and is going to honor said joke. I'm super excited about it. Let's move to our other follow-up, and that is Mortal Kombat 2. This is actually kind of a big follow-up. Also, a little bit of new news tied in there. Mortal Kombat 2, we know it's happening October 24th, so it will be out this year. Not the news. The new part is we finally are seeing some of the new characters, which again, really the only reason we're doing this because Mortal Kombat, but the other part of this is the actual, like, oh, this is new information. We already know who's playing all of the characters. We finally get to see Karl Urban in his iteration of Johnny Cage, which still feels like they just barely, just a little, just kind of missed the mark. Just off, just a little. It's still Karl Urban. Like, that's just Karl Urban shaved with a little bit of bleach in his hair. Like, there's nothing to... He's a great actor, though, so I still hold out hope that it's going to be great. But, so we get to see Karl Urban, Martyn Ford as Shao Kahn, and Adeline Rudolph as Kitana. These 3 are getting skins in the Mortal Kombat 1 game alongside Scorpion and Sub-Zero. We're getting Scorpion and Sub-Zero Mortal Kombat movie skins in the game, and they look really, really amazing. Super, super amazing. Which kind of is a video game update, but this might be an inkling of something resembling... We're not going to get a combat pack proper. I've already given up the idea that there's going to be a whole new slew of characters and skins. We're going to get a skins pack. We already have the MKX skins in the game, and then the Outworld, it's the Outworld like event or something, like they're wearing formal wear. That's what's in the current season right now. And all of that looks fantastic. But we're seeing a reinvigorated Netherrealm feeding into the game again. Now that, you know, they've made a little bit of that Fortnite money, now that we have the demise of so many other things in Warner Brothers and the upper-ups at Warner Brothers going, you guys make us money, so please keep doing that. They have the go-ahead to focus on the things that apparently we've wanted them to do since the beginning of the game, and now they're like, oh, we should probably do this. Anyway, sorry, rambling about a game in the movie section. It looks great. Mortal Kombat 2, October 24th. I will, as soon as those tickets go on sale, I'm gonna get it. Even though I have fairly mid expectations for it, I'm still getting my tickets day of. There is no doubt in my mind. So yeah, that's what we got for follow-ups and corrections. Let's talk about trailers. We got Lilo and Stitch live action trailer. The movie comes out May 23rd. There's been a lot of flack that people have been giving Disney about this trailer. And maybe it's because I have only seen Lilo and Stitch like half a dozen times instead of all of the other musical Disney movies that I watched as a kid, and I saw them all a few dozen times. So maybe that's why it is, but like, there's really not a whole lot in here that feels like it's not an appropriate successor to the animated movie. It's definitely no Snow White situation where it's like, okay, none of this really makes sense outside of like if I squint really hard and look far away. This feels like an appropriate adaptation. Maybe I missed something in the trailer. Please enlighten me in the comment section if that is the case, but like, it looks like a pretty decent adaptation, so I don't see what the issue is. Continuing on though with the trailers, our next one is Happy Gilmore 2. We now have a release date and a proper length trailer. July 25th of this year is when the movie is going to be out. Adam Sandler revisiting, because he finally got the rights back to the character. Like, Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore both existed before his production company came into play. So Adam Sandler made Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore for somebody else, meaning the company that he made those movies for held the rights to those characters and those movies. Similar situation to what Kevin Smith was going through with Dogma. Everything Clerks 2? That before View Askew became a production company, Kevin Smith didn't hold the rights to those. So it's been kind of a battle for what he can do with the movies that happened to Dogma and earlier, effectively. So, and Dogma's been the biggest one, but that's, again, we've talked about that before. So, Happy Gilmore, Adam Sandler's in a similar situation. Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison are owned by somebody else. He got the rights back to Happy Gilmore. I'm sure Netflix had something to do with that. And so now he's doing a sequel to it, and more power to him. Like, that's one of the best comedies of my generation, right? So the big thing on this, though, the little bit that I can read between the lines with this new trailer is I really think that Shooter McGavin might be the new teacher, sensei, whatever. He's gonna step in for Chubbs. Like, I think that's going to be the twist. I think that in the teaser trailer that we got a couple weeks ago, where you have Happy and Shooter facing off in the rain, and he says McGavin, and he says Gilmore, and then it cuts away. I think that's going to be at the beginning of the movie, and then we're going to see Shooter mentoring Happy so that he can become a better golfer. I think that's going to be the little twist that he plays at the beginning of the movie. So, very intrigued to see how that one plays out. Love me some, even the bad Adam Sandler movies are not that bad, right? I don't know, I never saw Jack and Jill or That's My Boy, but either way, the rest of them, not that bad. And then our other trailer this week is Freakier Friday. Lindsay Lohan, Jamie Lee Curtis return. The movie releases August 8th. The new trailer is out now. The new twist is it's not just mother and daughter switching places. It's mother, daughter, granddaughter, and friend, apparently. What the hell? So, yeah, again, there was nothing. It was early 2000 Disney schlock is kind of where you chalk up Freaky Friday. It did better than most. It was not bad. Now they're making a sequel. Sure, why not? This is just a real quick shout out to channel partner Dubby. Dubby.gg is the website. Generally Nerdy is the code at checkout, so you can get 10% off of your caffeinated needs or hydration needs. You don't have to get caffeine. Dubby does it all, man. If you need drink powders that do wonderful things as far as your hydration, as far as your caffeine levels, as far as just making it through the day, then go check out Dubby. They have, god damn it, they have partnered with the channel. I do get a little bit of a kickback when you use my code. I appreciate that. It definitely helps the channel survive and, you know, keeps me alive and things. So that also is a wonderful thing. But either way, go get your caffeinated needs over at dubby.gg. Now let's get back to the video. That's what we got for trailers. So let's move into some regular ass news. And this is the piece, aside from Mortal Kombat, because I'm always going to put that stuff first. But this is the piece that I'm the most excited about from the movie section this week, and that is Starship Troopers. Our reboot is going to be Neill Blomkamp writing and directing a reboot for Starship Troopers. Now, why am I so excited about it? Well, if you know who Neill Blomkamp is, Neill Blomkamp almost made a Halo movie. That's a whole development thing that we probably might go into one day on the second channel or something, but almost made a Halo movie. He did make Chappie, which is one of those movies that I just love and I couldn't pinpoint or exactly explain to you why it is. It's just good. It's just fun to watch. But most notably is District 9, and then he's still, to some degree, last we heard, working on District 10, which is going to be the sequel to District 9. But District 9 kind of proves, his creative brain is just kind of a level above most everybody else. Also, he made that on like a shoestring budget, and it looks amazing. It still looks really damn good. So the fact that he's the guy that makes these really gritty, low budget science fiction blockbusters, like they didn't think it was going to do nearly as well as it did. That's why it's getting a sequel. That's why he also made Elysium, which, I don't know, well, that's another conversation for another time too. I like Elysium. A lot of people don't seem to have an appreciation for it, but I think it's pretty damn good. Neill Blomkamp making Starship Troopers. All right, and then beyond that, we know for sure that his iteration of Starship Troopers is going to be more in line with the Heinlein book and not the movie. So there are differences between the Robert Heinlein book of Starship Troopers and the movie that we got from Paul Verhoeven. Paul Verhoeven's movie uses similar material. Like, it is definitely an adaptation of the Heinlein book, but in kind of the loosest sense of the word, because Heinlein's book is very serious and straight-laced and kind of hard. The Verhoeven movie is satire and is meant to be funny, and there's a couple of things in my notes that I kind of wanted to read directly. So reportedly, the script will be closer to the original Heinlein novel than the Verhoeven movie, so presumably this movie will differentiate itself from the Helldivers movie, because Helldivers deals with very similar subject matter as the Verhoeven movie version of this story. So presumably the Helldivers movie that we know we're getting as well is going to serve as the satire version of this story to a degree. And then the Blomkamp version of this movie is going to be the serious version of this story. So super stoked for legitimately both of these movies, but more so the Neill Blomkamp movie, just because I really like Starship Troopers. I really like the satire version. I like the straight-laced version. And I love Neill Blomkamp. So this is just a win all around, right? And then our final piece of regular ass news for movies this week is, honestly, up until a couple hours ago, I thought this was legitimately confirmed hard fact news. And then I read a quote from Sadie Sink that throws a bit of shade on that, throws a lot of doubt. So Sadie Sink in Spider-Man 4, this apparently has been reported on by just about everybody at this point. Sadie Sink, though, just finally was asked about it, and she kind of made it sound like maybe she's not actually been cast in this movie. Because she said something, and I kind of only had time to skim through the interview, but she said something along the lines of, I haven't spoken with Paul Feige about being anything in the MCU, so I'm honored that people are fan casting me, but as far as I know, that's not the case. Something along those lines. I very well could have just be misremembering this interview, but like, she's definitely casting some serious doubt on whether or not she's actually been cast. So originally this piece was going to go, Sadie Sink has been cast in Spider-Man 4 to mystery role that seems to question whether or not she's going to be Jean Grey going forward in the MCU, or if she's going to be the new version of Mary Jane Watson. MJ, right? Mary Jane Parker is after they get married. Watson's her maiden name. I'm pretty sure I'm remembering that correctly. So it's now that she's playing coy about the whole situation. What are we speculating on? Are we speculating on the fact that she's actually been cast as something, or are we speculating on what that something might be? Because both of those seem like fair game now. So honestly, I think that the Jean Grey rumors that were reported on about 2 months ago right now, if memory serves, might have even been like January when that first broke and then kind of picked up steam. But I think that those were purposefully leaked out in order to throw people off the scent. I think that legitimately, because she is very active in a lot of other projects, I think it makes a little bit more sense that she would be MJ and not Jean Grey. It makes sense in my head anyway. So yeah, Sadie Sink possibly cast in Spider-Man 4 ? Oh, let's move on. That brings us to our suggestion. Suggestion this week for movies is Legend, 1985 classic. Tim Curry as the Darkness, Tom Cruise as the hero. Just, if you've never seen this and you like fantasy movies, you simply must. I have a little thing that I wrote here again. Visually stunning fantasy adventure where a young hero battles the Lord of Darkness, Satan, played by Tim Curry, to save a magical world complete with unicorns, goblins, and a fairy tale romance. Directed by Ridley Scott, of all freaking people. It's a cult classic dripping with 80s charm, from its lush visuals to Tim Curry's unforgettable horned villain. If you love epic quests and otherworldly vibes, this hidden gem will sweep you into its enchantingly dark heart. Yes, it is a work of beauty. Practical effects hold up to this day. It's freaking amazing. Streaming currently on Apple TV Plus if you have a subscription, or you can rent it on things like Prime and the Microsoft Store, or you can buy it on those platforms as well. It kind of does its rounds in other places usually as well, so if it's not on your favorite streamer yet, it probably will be soon. So go check out Legend from 1985, starring Tim Curry and Tom Cruise. Thank you very much, nerds, for tuning in. If you want to level up your nerdy, geeky, pop culture knowledge, then don't forget to subscribe and do all of the things. Go check out the main channel, Generally Nerdy, for the larger portion. Again, you get all of these sections into one convenient video over on Generally Nerdy. The name of the show is The Week in Nerddom. Thank you for checking out this clip. We will see you next time. Before we go, though, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, probably here.